Hi, we are back on Insights on Leadership in Life, and I'm your host, Roberta Pickett, here with Adelaide Cahill and Maddie Watts and Calena Reeves. And we are talking about our youth and our future. And we were talking in the last segment about women and discrimination or not, and the changing world that we are in. And you know, one of the things I didn't get a chance to ask then, but it fits in with where I want to go in this segment is, what about voting? What do you think about voting? Are any of you 18 yet?
No.
In 10 days.
Soon to be. Are you planning to vote?
Oh, definitely.
Good.
Yeah, we actually already registered in our government class.
Fabulous. That's
my AP government teacher, he has a saying that he likes to say in class that kind of ties into this. It's old people vote, young people don't. And kind of, it's like his warning to us almost, like that our younger generation, he always says that like the age group from like 18 to 25 has like very few voters, but if we actually kind of got together and everyone in that age bracket voted, we'd be like a huge, almost like a majority, sorry. But since we don't, like I feel like a lot of people our age don't value our chance at voting, and they don't, so they don't take advantage of it.
It's amazing how many times I've heard people say, my vote doesn't make a difference. And yet we've had a number of elections where by very few, whether it's local elections or state or federal, you know, just a few votes can make a difference. So how do you guys feel that you're going to learn about the candidates and who to vote, determine who to vote for?
Reliably learn about them.
I mean, like there's media, but you know, TV.
If you change channels, you get two totally different answers
like there's so
sometimes.
many different views on different channels. Like it's hard to know like which one to listen to.
And yet maybe that's listening to both is a good thing to hear two different sides. What else? Internet? What would you look up on the internet?
Like just current, news. I guess like debates, but that would also be TV. So maybe.
Did you watch any of the debates so far?
No.
I think definitely watching the debates is a huge.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good way.
Of course, some of it depends on the quality of the questions.
That's true.
But that is good because what do you see when from the debates?
Well, it's real, like it isn't, edited later, just like little clips of what they're saying, like you see like the whole thing and like it's like there, like live, like just
but
like
even
what,
the
like
clips
their
can be
platform.
kind of, people can choose which clips to show too.
Later.
That's true.
Yeah,
later on.
It's kind of, they don't have a lot of time to craft an answer. Like, in a sense, they do prepare a lot for them, but also, it's kind of in the moment a little bit too. So
They probably know the general, they can figure out the general topics that they're going to be asked about, but they only have a short time to respond. I like to think that they have, part of what you see is their demeanor, how they respond and how they interact with others, body language.
That's huge.
Anyway, I think it's an important, personally, I think it's an important factor, and especially, like I said, just not at the presidential level, but also at the state level and at the local level, because what we do here grows and impacts others. So knowing what's going on is important in the community. What do you want your future to hold in the country? You have a perspective of
like our personal futures?
Yeah,
or
just
in
what
general, our generation.
Your generation and or your personal.
I think one of the problems that we face as a country is kind of a big centering of our society on money. Like it's a very central, it's central to your day-to-day life because it, kind of is a means to provide you with everything, but it also kind of has taken control of a lot of aspects of our society that shouldn't really be in the control of money. Like maybe like our government, if you choose to think that, but
how do you get away from it? That's because it's a really good point. And how do we shift that?
That's a hard question. I'm not sure how you would, because it's so what we're used to doing now.
I mean, I think it comes
But
back
I think,
to your own morality and virtues, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Not letting it control you.
As long as as if you initiate a point of view, like, okay, money doesn't control me, or money doesn't have to control me, that might, ping pong off with some other people too. Like, you know what, you're right, like, I'm more than...
Yeah, like starting
So-
with personal.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
starts with your values then, and
definitely.
then living your own life according to those values. Is that what you're saying? And then being willing to speak up about it?
Well, yeah,
so.
I mean, not shove it into the faces of other
No.
people, but
No.
but be honest and have honest conversations with people and...
Lead by example, live your life how you think other people should.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll, catch on, like a little ripple effect.
That brings me back to Ryla and Camp Ryla, what you learned and how you learned about respecting others' differences and learning, amongst a group of strangers to become friends and to, in spite of your differences, it didn't make you change your ways of being. It just made you realize that you could be friends even though you were different. So how do you apply that in the real world? How do you apply that now that you're back in?
Send everybody to Ryla.
That would be great. But it's a valid question, right? I mean, because the whole point of us of having a camp like Ryla is to teach those leadership skills, but then to how do you get that out there farther?
Yeah.
I mean, to...
You just kind of have to lead by example. Like there's that saying, like, you have to be the change you want to
See in the world.
So it's just like little things. Like I know, like one big thing that we talked about was trying to accept each other. So like for me, like if I hear like one of my friends saying like, oh, like, like judging someone, I'd be like, hey, like you don't know what they're going through, or you don't know like anything about them. So like then they hear that, and then hopefully they'll repeat it to someone, kind of like that ripple effect that you talked about. Like it just takes like one person to step up and then start like a chain reaction.
And I think it stems from, I mentioned at the beginning too, a sense of integrity with yourself, just like being honest about who you are. And I think stepping away from Ryla and leading by example, but not necessarily like exactly what you think, but more like how you think. Like, I'm being honest with myself, and by being honest with myself, the people around me might, do the same thing. I mean, ideally,
And I know sometimes, growing up for me, once I was honest with myself, I found that certain people didn't like me anymore, and I had to be willing to accept that too, right? That you're going to reject. Some people are going to reject you because of who you are.
Yeah, I think so. But I think you also, once you have those people that reject you, it kind of leaves you open to find new people who actually genuinely accept you for exactly who you are and who you want to be, and they kind of let you be that person. So I think in the moment it may hurt, but like in the future it's going to bring more.
Just going to help you grow.
Yeah.
One of the things we've seen with technology is things going viral, right? And in a lot of ways we've seen a lot of negative things go viral. But I think we've also seen positive things where someone sees a good deed or you see a good video and you pass that on, and that goes viral. And I think that that's my personal opinion, a way that we can use technology potentially to further good things in the world as well.
Positive.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you can't just ignore the bad things, but I think if you focus on the good things rather than, negative aspects,
Yeah, it's
it'll
not.
really help.
You don't want to ignore the bad things.
No,
I mean,
of course not.
Yeah. Because there are things that those are the things you want to change in the world, is
Right.
my guess.
Yes.
Is that find ways, if it's something that you're against, that's important to you, to find ways to work towards changing those things that aren't working. But you two are thinking about going into more of the arts and theater and that sort of direction. What part do you think art and theater play in the world? What part do they add to
substance.
Substance.
It really does. It adds a whole new
Connection,
Yeah.
definitely.
culture, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, that's a big thing,
It's
right?
so, I can't even
Yeah.
describe it in
Yeah.
words, really.
Kind of like reflecting like what our society like believes in today, like kind of going off about like, discrimination of women. Like now, like in movies, for example, you see like really powerful female characters that you
Yeah.
didn't always see. So
Very true.
Kind of changes, our perspective on things and kind of just reflects our society.
Music
and-
connects
yeah.
us all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A way of feeling emotions.
Definitely.
I mentioned that book at the break that I'm reading
yeah.
right now called The Magic Strings of Frankie Presto, and he's talking about music was there before anything because it starts, music is the heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
The rhythm of the beat. And so I love that idea, and I hate that so much of it has been taken out of our schools, so
Yeah.
I'd love
Yeah.
to have it back.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so important.
We're all fighting for the arts in schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a sense, like it's a lot focused on the STEM, science, technology, math, engineering. It's very important right
Yeah,
now.
but where would the
You said
idea
you
go
were
without
that
the,
creativity.
without
Yeah,
the
I am the drum
object.
major of our band program at Argonaut.
Wow,
So
so you're in
I get that
music too.
first-hand experience with music and its creation.
Wow. Well, you guys, this has been awesome. I wish I had way more time to talk to you, and it's great. Thank you to Adelaide Cahill and to Maddie Watts and to Calena Reeves and to all our audience for being with us tonight. Thank you so much for watching Insights on Leadership in Life.